guests and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
Time now for New Business on Main Street with your host, Russell. Each week, Russell takes an in-depth look at another exciting business. To get in on the discussion, call toll-free 888-565-1470. Now, let's talk business. Your business. With today's guest, here's Russell.
Hello, good afternoon. Russell here. Thank you very much for joining us again right here on WNN. And that's 1470 on the AM dial and 95.3 on the FM. And Eric, would you believe, Tommy, are you there? Last week, Tommy Sardine, he's the vice president of Legal Shield for the state of Florida. And he's been doing exceptionally well. Retired police officer, Broward County, or Dade County, I believe, anyway.
Right.
He'll tell us. He'll clear me up. Anything south of Boca, I say, where's that?
Yeah, exactly.
Tommy, you on?
Yes, sir.
All right, well, great. So how are we going to handle this? You're going to just stay there?
Well, I'm on the road.
Okay, not a problem. Hey, Tommy, listen. We really appreciate you explaining the program in part and detail last week. But we really want to get some real specifics because, look, people have health insurance, life insurance, car insurance, fire insurance for the home, disability insurance just in case we get down the road and need that. And now we're talking about legal insurance. Many people haven't heard of have you? We have Eric with us again today.
Hey, Tommy, how are you? I was hoping to meet you today, man, but we'll try again next week. But no, it's funny. Russ and I were having lunch 2 days ago, right, on the 3rd, and I'm like, it's a great concept, Legal Shield, because most people don't think about the prospect of getting legal insurance, basically. So, I was just on the phone driving over here with an insurance guy. You get life insurance, you get health insurance, you get car insurance, but most people don't think about from a legal standpoint. So, Russ and I were chatting about that the other day, and I was like, it's an ingenious concept.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. Tommy's been around the industry, 15 years now, Tommy?
16 years, yes, been with the company.
All right, let's talk about the company now. It's 45 years old. Would you believe that, Tommy?
Yes.
It started in 1972, Harlan Stone. Hey, why did he start it? And let's talk about the concept of legal insurance. Let's talk about that.
Okay, well, actually, I'm right in front of your building here, but
well, come on up. Come on up. People want to see you.
Okay. The company started back in 1972. A gentleman by the name of Mr. Harlan Stonecipher was involved in a car accident, actually. That's how it started. As we say, it started by accident. He was involved in a car accident. He was a school teacher, and he used to sell insurance on the side, and he was heading to an appointment when a lady crossed the median and hit him head on.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And he turned around, and he ended up in the back seat of the car, and he had medical insurance, took care of his medical bills, and, he had car insurance, took care of the car, and he had life insurance. Thank God he didn't have to use it. But he didn't have any legal insurance because what happened was she received the citation from the state trooper, but she turned around and she sued him. And he had to hire an attorney. He had to borrow money to do that and defend himself. And he won the case, but he lost all the money that he invested into that case. So he looked around. He said, there's got to be something to help people that get sued frivolously, and there was nothing in the United States. But doing his research, he found out over in Europe from the early 1900s they had a legal service program. He took the concept and he brought it here in 1972, and he was out in Ada, Oklahoma. That's where it started, and started the concept here, and it evolved to where it is today with Legal Shield from Prepaid Legal back then. Mm-hmm. And it's just evolved all across North America and Canada and all the way down to Hawaii now. So it's an incredible program that's helped so many people. And then he evolved to the 24/7 coverage, which we have also, mm-hmm. that I'll explain. And that started out of a situation that happened in New York when a young man by the name of Abner Louima was taken advantage of up there. I don't know if you remember the story. And Mr. Stonecipher went to all of the law firms across the country and asked them to provide a 24/7 coverage, because he believed that if the young man had access to an attorney at that hour, the day or night that it happened, the things that happened to him would not have happened. So that's how we evolved with the 24/7 coverage for the legal services.
Wow. Well, what a great concept.
Really is.
Yeah. Had you heard much about it, Eric? Have you heard?
Yeah, well, I heard about it from you when you and I first met.
Right.
You've been involved with it for 20 years, right? When it was prepaid.
Right.
And then, as we just reconnected, a few weeks ago, it sort of rekindled. I wasn't aware that they had created it under a new moniker, under Legal Shield. It's probably not that new, but for me it was new. But sort of renewed my interest, and as you and I talked about the other day, I mean, there's huge ways to market this stuff, which we'll talk about. But I think it's a great idea. I mean, I think we're creating a TV show like I am with personal injury law.
Right.
It just sort of exemplifies what's going on in today's world. I mean, state of Florida is prime candidate. It's interesting the way the insurance companies sort of come out now and accident forgiveness, but if you read the fine print, they're not all the states are participating. So I'm sure the need for lawyers in one way, shape, or form is going to increase for sure.
Mm-hmm. Tommy, in terms of the memberships in the United States and Canada, how many memberships do you have at this point?
Well, approximately United States and Canada, we're talking about membership base is over 100,000. Well, no, actually, through the United States, you're talking about the 1.5 right now. 1.5 million.
1.5 million members?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow, that's amazing.
Right.
That's great.
And that's still that. Well, you have 350 million people in the United States, another 33 million in Canada or more, right?
Yeah.
So
there he is.
Oh, Tommy. Hey,
welcome to the studio.
Come on, Mr. Welcome to the studio, Tommy.
All right. All right.
Yeah, this is Tommy Sardine. You were with the Dade County.
Dade County
for 20 years.
20 years.
And so, how did you enjoy that stint on the street for 20 years?
Well,
protecting us, the citizens, the good citizens of Florida.
Well, I enjoyed it because a lot of those years I was in training, and I trained all the police and correctional officers down in Dade County, and did a lot of dignitary protection details. I wrote all the policies for the Dade County Jail back then. Wow. So it was a good 20 years.
Good run.
I enjoyed it. It was a good 20 years.
And you learned a lot.
Definitely, but Legal Shield allowed me to leave.
But you did 20. I mean, you could have gone 30.
I had 5 more to go.
Okay.
And but they actually, I was in training, and they cut down on the budget and told me they were cutting training down for about 6 months and put everybody back in operations. And I said, no, I quit.
Oh, they're going to put you on the street again.
Yeah.
Put a uniform on him and say, go to the street.
I said, no, I stopped. I was doing Legal Shield part-time.
Okay.
For about 5 years, and I was matching my income. I started off just to make $1,000 a month, got there after a few months, and then the money got better, and I started matching my income and some months making more than I was making on the job. And so when they cut the budget and told me I had to go back in ops, I said, no, I quit, and I started doing it full time.
Wow.
And then 6 months later, brought my wife home. She was a CFO with a home health care company, and I've been doing it for the past 10 years, working from home with my wife and I, and I actually have part of my children involved in the business. One just graduated from Palm Beach State for engineering, but he did the business part-time, so he never had to get a part-time job.
Wow.
And so now he's going to be going to FIU. But it's been a blessing for our family, and we helped a lot of people.
You can help a lot of students, too.
Absolutely.
Now, how do we get to all the students who may need some extra money?
Well, that's it's actually the best source of marketing is word of mouth now.
Well, listen, in the past, and it still is, and according to Robert Kiyosaki and Paul Zane Pills and even Malcolm Gladwell in his book, The Tipping Point, he says 67% of all sales or goods are sold on referral basis. He says 67% according to statistics that the big boys are doing. But I just think it's a better way. I just keep thinking there's got to be a better. I mean, it's good. It's good.
Well, what's driving the market right now? As you know, radio. I mean, but what's driving the market right now is mobile apps.
Okay.
Right. We talked about that last week.
Yeah, that is a big driver right now.
That's right. So you have an app program that's just getting started.
Well, we have a few apps. We have the one for Legal Shield, a mobile app that you actually, everything's in the palm of your hand. You tap the app and you're talking to a law firm anywhere in the country. If you get a moving violation anywhere in the country, you just tap the app, you take a picture of that moving violation, and you hit send. It goes to the law firm. An attorney contact you in 8 business hours to take care of that violation. Mm-hmm. If you have an emergency, you're being detained, questioned, or arrested, you're able to actually take out your phone and tap the red button on your phone, and you have an attorney on the phone in seconds to let them know what's going on, and they'll advise you what to do, what not to do in that situation.
Well, 99% of the people walking around in America just don't have a clue that that's available.
That's true. And
so how do we do this? He's a master of this stuff.
Well, we'll talk off air about it. But Russ and I were having lunch, and I was like, looking forward to meeting with you, because I think there's such a huge gap between the people that want or need the service and want to hear about it, and who have it. Meaning, you'll reach out to certain people, your database keeps growing and doing events. And like you said, we're in an app, we're in a mobile world, a virtual world now. And I think there's such a huge opportunity on a marketing strategy-wise opportunity to reach more people using the friends and family referral basis, but through social media and whatnot. So some interesting ideas that Russ and I were talking about the other day.
You know what Eric does. You know what he's doing. Is that right?
No, he was
okay, but just briefly, Eric, 2 minutes before we go on break.
Yeah, we're going to break already?
No, 2 minutes. But 2 minutes. Tell him what you do. Tell him what you're planning on doing.
Sure.
Working with Russell Simmons and Puff Daddy and all that.
Yeah, I started in the music business on the TV side in 1991 at the Box Music Network, producing commercials, music videos, and whatnot. And when the box became MTV2, I transitioned into educating people about the music industry, thus the name inside the music business. And, as reality shows started to get bigger, I started to transition back into producing and whatnot. And now I'm doing what I'll call docuseries / reality shows. So a few months ago, I came up with this idea of doing one on personal injury lawyers. So we're in the midst of marketing that idea right now. So, that's, I think you were on last week, we were talking a little bit about that. So there's an interesting, cross-section of what you're doing, what I'm doing in terms of educating people and also from a marketing standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah, so your background is in television.
Yep, 26 years now, television, video.
All across the country with Puff Daddy, Russell Simmons, all those boys. I mean, you were producing for them. You worked with them. I mean, selling hundreds of thousands of records.
Yeah, back before the internet came into play, for sure. So we got to take a break.
Yeah, time goes fast.
All right.
Okay, folks, we will be right back because we're going to come up with a strategy. We're going to be another Zuckerberg right over here, right? This is WNN 1470 AM and 95.3 FM. We'll be back in a moment.
Welcome to the New Business on Main Street, www.newbusinessonmainstreet.com. Networking has come of age, and many of our solid, stable, and financially free networking companies are now on the Dow and the NASDAQ. Many of the stocks of these premier companies have had serious gains in the past few years. Warren Buffett said, investing in networking has been the best investment I have ever made. Robert Kiyosaki, author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, says rich people build networks, poor people look for jobs. Donald Trump has made millions of dollars from networking. Paul Zane Pilzer, an economic advisor, and Malcolm Gladwell, author of the book The Tipping Point, says billions of dollars will be transferred to networkers over the next 10 years. Malcolm Gladwell says future generations will become very wealthy using word-of-mouth advertising. He says 67% of all goods and services are purchased by recommendations and referrals. Your economic future is in the hands of word-of-mouth advertising. It is the new way of doing business on Main Street and Wall Street. You can join us in acquiring economic freedom and security coupled with time freedom. Go to newbusinessonmainstreet.com. That's www.newbusinessonmainstreet.com. President Calvin Coolidge said, "Nothing can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. Nothing is more common than the unsuccessful man with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education alone will not. The world is full of educated derelicts. Persistence and determination alone are omnipotent. The problems of our society will be answered by those who are persistent and who are dedicated to change things for the better." Join us at newbusinessonmainstreet.com. Steve Jobs said, "Life can be much broader once you discover one simple fact. Everything around you that you can call life was made up by people no smarter than you, and you can change it. You can influence it. Once you learn that, you will never be the same again." Join us at newbusinessonmainstreet.com or call 561-302-2588. You're listening to today's edition of New Business on Main Street. To join the show, call in toll-free 888-565-1470. Now, back to the business at hand. Here's Russell.
We got to try. Oh, back. Are we back here already? WNN. Hey, this is the Health and Wealth station of South Florida, and I think they're doing a great job at talking all the health issues all the time. I listen all the time.
Is T-Mobile sponsoring this? That's right.
Yeah, right. They just called.
I'm telling you.
And so we want to talk about the financial wherewithal, but before we talk about the money that you've earned and people Tommy have earned, to make Dave Savola and all the other boys who are making $1 million, and now Brian Carruthers is making $1 million a year now. What's his name? Came down the other week. Darnell Self.
Darnell Self.
Yeah, he's at $1 million a year. But anyway, and he was a mail carrier, wasn't he? At one point,
Darnell worked in the mall as a manager.
Okay, I'm thinking about Humes.
Mike Humes was a mail carrier.
Yeah,
makes over $700.
Yeah, so these guys were making $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 a year. Now they're making that a month or a week. I'm sorry, apologize. They make that a week. So how can you turn an annual income into a weekly income? And a lot of people just don't fathom the possibilities of how to do that. Tommy, help us with that. Help us with that.
Actually, how you do that is, as we call it, duplication.
Okay.
And I call it franchising.
All right.
And because it's the same, you talk about multi-level marketing, network marketing, it's all the same as franchising. It just costs you less. You have less monetary outcome. You have more sweat outcome.
A sweat equity.
Sweat equity is what we call it, exactly.
Right.
So, I mean, and that's basically is building. I was actually doing a training at my home last night. And it was the 4th, but we had people come over. We were doing a training, and was just sharing. And when my wife was drawing out on a board how to build the structure of a solid business, and it hit me again. I said, it's franchising.
That's all.
But you're just finding people that want more for themselves. And you teach them the skills that they need to have, which they learn when they go work for someone, skills that they had to have. Just being in law enforcement, I had to have certain skills. And they got trained. I had to go through 20 weeks of training to be able to do that. And here it is. This is ongoing training when you have a business, and we teach you how to have a business. But now it's for you to become the teacher. It's just like you open up a franchise, no matter what franchise it is out there, but they're going to teach you how to run that franchise. And then if you want to have another one, you have to make that investment again, and then you're going to have to teach management staff to run that franchise because you can only be at one place at one time.
Right.
It's the same concept with the business that we do, is teaching you how to develop a successful business. And once I've taught you, now you can teach someone else to have their own successful business. But because you've taught them, you get rewarded from the corporate office because you've taught them so well.
Okay. And
that's where the residuals come in, which I love, is the residual income, being able to collect a 6-figure residual income, which I would not get in retirement. And my retirement, is good with, the county paid me good retirement, but I can't leave that for my children.
Right.
But I built a business now that when I'm gone, my children get a multiple 6-figure income.
Wow. That's you.
And I can leave that to my grandkids.
Right.
So my picture will be over the fireplace somewhere in Florida.
I heard that. But you're $1 million earner, and I really appreciate the fact that you dedicated yourself to become $1 million earner with Legal Shield. If I were to start today, and you are my trainer, give me the 1, 2, 3s. The people who are listening, give me the 1, 2, 3s. Spell it out. I mean, I don't want you to make it too complicated. Just keep it simple.
Exactly.
Okay.
And as we say,
right.
KISS, keep it simple.
Okay.
You want to keep it simple, and basically it's to sit down and set a game plan, because if you have no plan, you can't win the game.
Right.
And that's what I tell everyone. And I'm not going to ask you to do anything that I didn't do to create the success. So it's to make a list of everyone you know, and to start there. And it's not to sell people, and we're not into sales. Yes, you have to transfer. Someone has to get the service for you to get paid, but the goal is education here.
Right.
We educate people on the benefits of the services. We give them the knowledge. We show them the value, and they buy it. And if they don't buy it today, they buy it tomorrow. So it's just to share with them, teach them how to share it the right way. Don't oversell. Right. We want to sell it the right way, and let them know what it offers. And if they don't get it today, they'll call you later, because someone's going to try to take advantage of them, their friend, their cousin, a relative. But at least they know where they can turn and don't have to pay the $200-300 an hour to get that advice.
Right.
And that's basically, to get someone started right away, it's the basics. Let's sit down, set a plan, make a list of everyone you know, but plug into the training. There's a training. We do a lot of personal development. You always got to be working on the enemy, as you know, Russ. The great book that you wrote, 21 Days, right? But you always got to be working on the enemy, because the frenemies will get you. Right. And we all know who the frenemies are. Right. The people that tell you that it doesn't work, but they're not going to give you anything to help it make it work.
Okay. Yeah, I really appreciate that. If let's talk about the service, because a lot of people just don't know the comprehensiveness of the service that they get. Go ahead.
You asked that question, because that was one of my big, I could tell you, my friend, which was a fellow officer, was after me for 3 years to get the service.
Oh, is that? And you said, no, I don't need it.
I said, I don't even know. I ain't getting tickets, and I ain't going to jail. I ain't going to do nothing to go to jail, so I don't need an attorney, because my mindset was, you need an attorney for bad things only. Because that's what we see on television. When you see an attorney on TV, he's defending someone for something that happened to them or they did. Right? Doesn't mean they did anything wrong, but something happened to them. Now they need help. And that was my mindset also. So I said, I don't need none. But then 3 years later, I needed 2 attorneys. I didn't do anything wrong. People say, well, you got in trouble? No. I was doing an adoption, so I needed an adoption attorney and an immigration attorney. So that's how I got started. I went to him and asked him, do they cover that? And he said yes. He came back with a price that was cheaper than what I was hearing from other law firms I was checking with, and I signed up for the service. I used it. It made sense, and then I teased him that he made $10, because there's a one-time $10 enrollment fee when you sign up for the service. He showed me he made a whole lot more than that, and I asked him if it was legal. Yeah, I really did, because it didn't make sense, because I knew nothing about the insurance industry.
Right.
And that's what basically it was. I mean, we're licensed by the state of Florida. We don't have to have a license any longer. They took that away in January, but you had to have a license prior to that. And I looked at it, it made sense, and I said, you know what? If I can make an extra $1,000 a month, I don't have to work overtime, special details, dictate protection details, teaching at the college, working the parades, the football games, the baseball games. And I have more time home with my family. So that's why I got started with it.
Right.
And then the service, as I said, unlimited consultation, where you'll be able to pick up the phone and talk to an attorney and ask questions and get your questions answered without paying anything extra. You can call them every day. Writing letters and make phone calls on your behalf. Unlimited per subject. So if someone's not honoring the warranty, something shows up in your credit report, not identity theft, but maybe your information got mixed up with a relative or something, they'll write letters. And that actually happened, to my wife. Her sister's stuff showed up on the report, and they took care of that with just one letter. It came off. Right? And also reviewing your documents, as we know the saying, the bold print give it, the fine print take it away. So having them review those documents, and I've used that quite a few times. That saved me money on selling property, right? And also getting a will done. And I can tell you, being 17 years as a law enforcement officer, I never had a will. Wow. They never come into the academy and tell you, hey, you need to get your will done. That's not a good class.
That's not a good class. Wow.
So they never tell you that. So I never had a will.
I'll be doggone.
And I didn't think I needed one, because I come from a big family. So I think, hey, something happened to me, my brothers and sisters will take care of the kids, but it doesn't work that way.
Right.
If you don't have a will in place. So they give you one just for utilizing the service, and every year you can update that will at no additional cost. So you're saving hundreds of dollars just on the will alone.
More than that. I mean, today, you start a will today. I mean, attorneys like $200-300 an hour. Even though they use a template, you still go back and forth 4 or 5 hours. You're $1,500 in.
Easy.
Absolutely. And we actually even made it a little bit more simpler with our mobile app. You can tap the app and actually start filling out your will right on your phone.
Wow.
So, which is driving it. So, I mean, that, and then the motor vehicle coverage, any moving violation, just tap the app, take a picture, send it to the law firm. Now, we don't condone speeding and that kind of stuff, but, we all have exceeded the limit, just haven't been caught yet.
That's what they say.
But, you just send it in and have an attorney. So kids don't have to take time from school. Parents don't take time from work. It keeps them on a job, and it's less stress. It gives you peace of mind.
Right.
And then if you get sued civilly, to have access to a law firm that's going to represent you without you having to go and mortgage the house. And then IRS audits you, you get 50 hours of a tax attorney to assist you in that area.
That's awesome. So all of that, I mean, that's a lot. And if you were my attorney...
If you were my attorney, what would you charge for that? Exactly.
At least a couple $1,000s a month. I mean, just to be kind.
And we do that for less, to cover a family.
A whole family.
All the
members
family,
of the family.
Husband, wife, or significant other. You don't have to be married. All of your children up to age 26 for less than $20 a month.
Wow. Can you believe that?
That's amazing.
I mean...
Nationwide.
Even in Canada.
Anywhere you travel.
Anywhere you travel. United States or Canada. I mean... Most people don't believe it. Most people ask one question: what kind of paralegal am I dealing with? Hello.
Right. Top-rated law firms. The law firms, majority of our law firms are AV rated. They've been rated by Martindale Hubbell, which rates law firms. So you're going to get the best for less.
And the one in Florida is what?
AV rated.
And what's
Glance Law.
Glance Law. Well, they got about 30, 40 attorneys down there?
About 40 attorneys.
Yeah, Glance Law. And if you just Google Glance Law, and what I love about Glance Law, for the last 20 years or more, they've been doing a lot of philanthropic work throughout the community.
They do a lot of things.
Boys, girls, clubs, and all that stuff, helping people unemployed. They do a great job.
What are some of the, like when you become a member, right, in addition to the services you're talking about, obviously there's some stipulations in there, right, where there's certain amount of hours you can use with a lawyer, things like that. Because sometimes you know how it is. Sometimes it's the bait and switch. Obviously, you guys don't do that, but
right. Well, actually, I'm glad you asked that because it's unlimited.
The attorney in me came out. Just
you have unlimited consultation letters, phone call, document review. There is a series of hours. If you're being sued, you start off with 60 hours of trial defense.
Yeah.
However, every year that you keep the service, it increases. So you'll have 300 hours of trial defense after 5 years.
Okay.
And IRS is the 50 hours of tax attorney assistance there. But the good thing is, as you know, we all don't get along with everyone.
Right.
So you may have an attorney that maybe you feel they're not aggressive enough, and
you can switch.
You could always ask for another attorney.
Sure.
But if you were paying a law firm, you're going to have to pay another law firm.
Right.
So that's the difference.
Retainer, sure.
Let me take a break here. That's interesting. At $17 a month, or less than $20 a month, for the whole family to use it. I'll be back in a moment. WNNM. That's 1470 AM 95.2.
I just think people don't realize like how important that stuff is, and
you don't need anyone to tell you that times are tough. You have probably been searching for that elusive, guaranteed, secure job with all those wonderful benefits. Well, those jobs are gone. Downsized, outsourced, capsized, and eliminated by technology. It's a new day. We have to adopt new ways of earning a serious income. So, if you are positive, bright, friendly, ambitious, and have vision, we can help you. We have an international marketing company expanding in your area, and we are seeking someone with experience in teaching, public speaking, or who has owned or operated a business. For further information, go to www.newbusinessonmainstreet.com. If you are self-confident and you have strong self-image, self-esteem, we can help you. Go to newbusinessonmainstreet.com if you are willing to take risk and you are willing to educate yourself. Then the income for your future is unlimited. Call 561-302-2588. It's the new business on Main Street.
An ad placed in a newspaper in 1908 by Ernest Shackleton, who wanted to be the first man to cross Antarctica, read this way: men wanted for a hazardous journey. Small wages, bitter cold, long months of complete darkness, constant danger, safe return doubtful, honor and recognition in case of success. 27 men answered the ad and went with him on the failed expedition. Today we have social media marketing, and we are seeking men and women to market a new product internationally. The business is open in 30 countries. Commission income only. Extremely small starting income in the beginning. A six-figure lifetime residual income is possible after 3 to 5 years of hard work. Join us at newbusinessonmainstreet.com or call 561-302-2588.
You're listening to today's edition of New Business on Main Street. To join the show, call in toll-free 888-565-1470. Now, back to the business at hand. Here's Russell.
Okay, back here, WNN. That's 1470 AM, 95.3 FM. Tommy, Eric, for that little bit of money of less than $20 a month, it covers all the members of the family for all those things that you mentioned. If somebody wanted to get in touch with you to get more information, how would they get in touch?
They can give me a call at 561-275-4777.
Okay.
That's my direct line.
Okay.
Or they can go to tsardine.com. Sardine.com.
Spell that, sardine.
T and sardine like the fish. SARDINE. Don't make fun of my name, Russ.
tsardine.com.
tsardine.com.
That's good. Okay. And that's 561-275-4777.
Correct.
It's important for people to kind of be proactive in this, right? In terms of needing an attorney.
Absolutely.
You're a law officer. You've seen it. I mean, come on.
Well, the saying is, if you don't know what your rights are, you don't have any.
That's true. That's true. But people can, instead of the anguish and the sweat that they have, when they get into trouble, they got, I'm in trouble, what do I do? Go through the telephone directory, go through the yellow pages. That's crazy. When you have something like this available to you on each and every day.
Absolutely.
What do you think, Eric?
I think, listen, I mean, I've dealt with being in the entertainment business, my whole professional career. Luckily, I haven't had the need to use attorneys outside of that much. But I think most people they'll pick up the phone, they'll call their cousin, their brother, their sister, and get a referral for an attorney, whatever the case may be. But to the point, you're still going to start from zero, where you're going to have to retain the person. So my question is, the network of attorneys that are involved, is it vast? Is it by section, by genre of law, basically entertainment law, personal injury law?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question, because what we have is
I get paid the big bucks, man.
We have what we call a closed panel. I mean, we have law firms that are top rated, and we have a system that has checks and balances. When the law firms are utilized, they get surveys, the members get surveys, and we actually have the law firms get a net promoter score, an NPS score, based on their performance. Just like Apple has a net promoter score. I think they're like in the 62, 63. Legal Shield net promoter score is around 57, 58. So that's based on the service, the quality of service. Wow. And there's checks and balances. Legal Shield owns all the phone lines going into the law firm, so they know if the line is down. They don't know the conversation, that's attorney-client privilege, but they do know when the law firm calls you back, how long they were on the phone with you, how quick they called you back. So there's checks and balances of what has to be done with the quality of service, and that's why we have the best quality of service. And the law firms get paid very well. For example, law firms in California makes about $1.2 million a month to provide the services. So when you call the law firm, you are the highest paid client. So you're going to get the best service. And that's the difference. A lot of law firms, what do? They bill you by the hours. Here, we want to take care of your service, your situation as quickly as possible, as best as possible, because we want to take care of the next client. And you're not going to call every day. So the law firms are getting paid very well. That's why when you make that phone call, they're picking up that phone. They're going to take care of you the best way they can, as quick as they can, and efficient as they can, because of the services that they provide and because of the money that they're getting paid.
They don't lose their contract.
No, they're not on a yearly, a 2-year, 3-year contract. Most of them are like a 6-month or less contract, and they evaluate on a consistent basis.
Sure.
So
makes sense.
So that's why you're not stuck with someone that's not doing the quality job. That's why they do the best they can. Years ago, they did have an open book where you can pick an attorney, but that system didn't work, an open panel. The closed panel works best because there's more control.
Sure,
over the law
provider
firms,
network kind of situation.
Exactly,
right? Okay.
Exactly.
So what's the scope of the type of legal services that are provided? Maybe you could go into that a little bit.
Well, there is no limit.
Anything.
They cover every area of law. And if they don't cover it in-house, they have referral attorneys that they will refer you out to. But they're responsible for the actions of that referral attorney. If that referral attorney is not doing the right thing, they're responsible for that action. So there's checks and balances. Even on the referral attorneys, they get a net promoter score also. So there's checks and balances. So if in-house they don't have, for example, if they didn't have an attorney that covered elder law, they would refer you to someone that's part of their network that covers elder law. But they're going to be responsible for the actions of that referral attorney.
So you guys are covering basically everything from personal injury to entertainment to
everything.
Wow, that's great.
Nothing they don't
great
cover.
Service. Legal Shield.
Yeah, Legal Shield. And if everything, he named 5 different categories of benefits when the IRS, you're being sued in traffic and whatever. Anything outside of that purview, then it goes into Title V, a 25% discount off the usual customers.
Correct. Things that don't happen at all.
So they cover everything.
Bankruptcy.
Everything. Anything.
Yeah.
Great.
And also something they just offered too now is where you can actually have the membership for free, because we offer something called member perks, where you get discounts from airlines, car rentals, restaurants, movie theaters, you name it, for cell phones, internet, cable TV. So you're going to save.
Oh, tell me about
enough. You're going to save $19 a month, $20 a month on those services that you're normally going to use anyhow. So your membership will basically be free.
Right.
It's interesting, like we were talking about before the break. I have an affinity for the law and having, I don't write contracts, but I typically will, do a blueprint for a contract, give it to my lawyer, my entertainment attorney. So, I understand. $400 or $200 a year, $240 a year for nothing. Mm-hmm. That's the equivalent of an hour, basically. So, I think people need to be educated about the process. Certainly you're doing well, and there's different ways I think that can be utilized today to get the word out about this. So I'm curious, how are you guys marketing your services now, aside from the one-to-one?
Well, the one-to-one, we also are one of the fastest growing employee benefits. So we're offering it as an employee benefit, dealing with the large brokers, also insurance agencies and brokers. And we have a lot of brokers coming on board now also with a special broker program, insurance agent program, bringing them on board to market the services. Other than that, it's Facebook. A lot of stuff is on Facebook, even with our CEO. He came over from Microsoft. He actually was a VP there launching the Xbox. He took Xbox from like 4 million to 14 million in 2 years. He actually was there when they had the 2-door Jeep. With Jeep, he started the 4-door Jeep. He actually was with Chrysler, and he took Chrysler to the when they had the Chrysler 300. He launched that. So he's very innovative. A lot of those things they said wouldn't work, and now he came over here and he launched the mobile apps. We have the Legal Shield app. We have an ID Shield app for identity theft. That's another program that we offer with Kroll Advisory Solutions. Yeah. And then we have a app called Shake by Legal Shield, which is it says Shake because like a handshake, and it's a free app that you can get forms. You can go online and you can get your forms done right there online. And then we have Ask Legal Shield, which is a free app also. You can ask legal questions. They give you some of the answers. Wow. And we're getting ready to now incorporate all of them into the one app that you'll be able to utilize all those areas. So he's really evolved this to a total different era. So where they're going to be going from there next, I don't know, but I hear there's some good things coming in reference to the internet marketing.
Well, the projection is they have 1.6 million.
No, and projection is 14 million by 2020.
So by 2020, that's only a hop, skip, and a jump. That's 3 years away.
Yep.
So for a person to get started with you today as an associate, as a person who wants to share this information and sell some people say they don't want to, in network marketing, if you will, they don't want to sell the lotions, potions, and vitamins, and they don't want to do any of that. Well, you don't have to do that to make money. You can legal shield a piece of paper, make serious money, and you do pay every day. So, talk about that.
Oh, how you get paid?
Yeah.
Well, for a small investment to get started in your own business,
okay,
as little as $99, one-time fee. You invest $99, and we do have an option of a $19.95 a month fee that gives you the website. And now for that $19.95, I mean, you get a mobile app that you can run your business from your hand. You can send videos and PDFs and all different types of things. Plus, you get training along with it. Mm-hmm. So, small investment for large outcome.
Peanuts. Come on.
For sure. Yeah.
To get started in your own business for $99 and get paid every day. They pay daily.
Yeah, they pay daily. Within 24 to 48 hours, once you market one of the services,
come on,
that money's direct deposit in your account. Yeah. Absolutely. It's a no-brainer.
Call Tommy, 561-275-4777 or tsardine.com, because you need to jump on board, especially the millennials. They got $1.1 billion in student loans that many of them can't pay. And the last statistic that I read is 54% of them who are graduating and getting these wonderful degrees from Georgetown, Syracuse, or wherever else are unemployed or underemployed. Here's a chance, folks, to correct that and pay off your student loans and have a great lifestyle.
They have a big millennial movement right now. I mean,
I saw that app on one. Yeah, I saw that
big
commercial.
Movement,
we should have had it today.
It's incredible what's happening. There's many millennials. As I said, my son himself, right out of high school, started doing this part-time.
So how's he doing?
Oh, he's actually regional manager for Dayton Broward County.
What can I say?
He's getting ready to get his $50,000 ring, which means he's going to earn take home $50,000 in a 12-month period.
Wow!
Now, even getting his degree in engineering, he will not be taking home $50,000 in a 12-month period.
Of course not. Of course not. And so that's super, because you get a 1099 and you can take tax deductibles. We can talk about that.
It's like a regular business. You have all the benefits.
All the benefits of it. Yeah, so about 28 tax deductible privileges. So wherever you travel, wherever you eat out, hotel, motel, whatever, plane fare, all deductible, because you're in the United States and Canada doing business.
So it covers Canada as well as
absolutely.
The continental
US. Everywhere you go.
All the way down to Hawaii, from Canada to Hawaii.
Yep.
So if someone, I was just curious, so if the everyday person that's hearing this, if they wanted to sign up for the service, aside from going to your website, maybe walk through, what their outlay of cash is, not to be in the business, but to actually have the service.
Oh, just to get started with the service is for a single person not married, $17.95
a month,
and is a one-time $10 enrollment fee. So the first month, $27.95. If it's a family, husband, wife, or significant other, and doesn't matter how many children, up to age 26. Then you're talking about $19.95 a month with a one-time $10 enrollment fee. And
you're not locked in for the whole year. That's month to month. If you want.
That's smart money.
You can cancel whenever you want. Listen, got to take a break.
Oh, okay.
And we're going to talk about money a little bit more. I joined a couple years ago. A couple? I paid $81 to join and made $1.5 million. Hey, that's not too shabby. We'll be back in a minute. 1470 AM. 95.3 FM. We'll be back in a minute. Thank you.
Like you and millions of Americans, I grew up believing that if you worked hard and got a good education and played by the rules, you could find a secure job and take care of your family. But for too many hardworking people, that's not the way things are today. The good jobs for us and our children are not there anymore. 54% of our college graduates are either unemployed or underemployed, and many of them are now going back home to live with a family because they cannot meet their obligations living alone. Student loans have now topped $1.1 trillion with no hope of ever being repaid. The average American has no savings at all. The unofficial number for unemployment is more than 20%. We have a problem. There must be a better way. Go to New Business on Main Street. See that there is a better way. Join us with a better way. Go to newbusinessonmainstreet.com or call 561-302-2588. That's 561-302-2588. The world is changing faster than ever. Technology is accelerating, job security is declining, and income inequality is increasing. People are overworked and underpaid with less time freedom. People are left wondering if there is a better way. Yes, there is a better way. Social media marketing and networking are the new ways of earning economic security and time freedom in the 21st century. Call Russ, 561-302-2588, and let him help you find the better way. The documentary Rise Movie brings together today's best experts and thought leaders to explain how you should now view work and wealth. Your search for a better way is over. The answer is here. Your future awaits, and there are no limits. Please view risemovie.com or call 561-302-2588. Join us at newbusinessonmainstreet.com. You're listening to today's edition of New Business on Main Street. To join the show, call in toll-free 888-565-1470. Now, back to the business at hand. Here's Russell.
Are we back? Yeah, we're back on the air, 1470.
Do we mention Mark Zuckerberg again?
And Ray Kroc.
Yeah, Ray Kroc.
No.
Study success, right? It's joking aside.
What they do at Harvard, Yale, Princeton. Case studies.
Yeah.
And again, Tommy, for those people who want to get started with you, all they got to do is call you 561-275-4777 or go to tsardines.com and give him a call. Folks, you can't sleep forever because, well, I was going to say, I'll do another show on that, what I think is coming. I think the downturn is coming somewhere down 3 or 4 or 5 years from now, but that's enough. So you got to get ready for whatever. You got to, but get your fortress shored up, if you will.
Sure.
Put a moat around it, whatever you have to do.
Protection mechanism.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Eric, listen, you saw The Social Network about Zuckerberg. You saw the founder, Ray Kroc. Case studies about people who have come into industries and say, okay, this is great, let's expand it. How can we expand this thing? That's.
Well, I mean, look, he's the expert in the business. I look at anything like this because it's like one of those things that people need it. They just don't realize they need it until they need it. And I think that he's obviously educated millions of people, and his team. You've been involved with it. I'm not involved with it yet. I'm going to get involved with it very shortly. But just when we were sitting down talking about it, I mean, it can grow exponentially in a very simplistic way. Is that people spend money frivolously, $20 or $30 a month, and they're going to get pinched hard when they need legal services, and trust me, being in the entertainment business, $200, $300, $400 an hour to deal with that. So, I mean, I think that people need to be cognizant of it, but you also need to show them a little bit of pain if they don't do it. And I think that's the problem. Like, look at health insurance. We've been battling over health insurance, not to take time away from that. But people realize if you don't have health insurance, no matter what it costs you, and God forbid you have major surgery, you're in trouble. Then you'll really need Legal Shield.
Right. Yeah.
Pay now, pay later.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you're going to pay, huh?
You're going to pay.
What would you say, Tommy, in terms of, I want you guys to get together, maybe come up with something, because we want to help the millennials. We want to help the people who have student loans, people who come in, the veterans, they need some help. And we can be bringing them in by the big numbers and training them and getting them going. I think we should be just creative in how we reach out. What do you think, Tommy?
No, absolutely. I mean, the drive is there. We just... one of the biggest things is, as I see and out there with the millennials, is that they were focused. We've been all raised to go to school, get a good education, then you're gonna get a good job, and we know that doesn't always work.
Right.
You'll get a job, but it may not be a good job
with a lot of debt.
With a lot of debt.
School. Yeah.
Exactly. And the thing is, because they haven't been trained. I mean, I listen to some college students, and they taking business classes, and the professor never had a business. Yeah. So how can you train someone to do? I mean, I could train people how to be in law enforcement because I was trained to do that. I could train someone how to have a successful business because I've been trained, and I still consistently keep being trained. I mean, reading the right books, watching The Founder, that was part of the training, that movie. That was a training for me because when I saw that, I looked back at Legal Shield and I said, you know what is driving Legal Shield right now is our mobile app. Because what drove McDonald's was the real estate. Because in order for him to control the store, he controlled the real estate.
Absolutely.
Because they couldn't have control with the franchise unless they had some sort of something to control them, because the franchise was doing whatever they wanted to do, so it didn't work.
Right.
But he found the key to make it work. And I believe with right now the industry that we're in a lot of industries, and we're talking about entertainment, whatever it is, it's just like, the records now, nobody's buying records. Nobody buys, everything is, CDs and DVDs are out the window right now. Right. So we're evolving, and I see the mobile app is taking things to another level. And now, how do we use that app is something
we can talk about. I think, and I haven't looked at the app, but certainly, and I'm not a technology guy that way, but I look at, people act on emotion, right? Whether the need to avoid pain or gain pleasure, we know that in some way, shape, or form. So you're forced to do something, people perceive that as pain. If you look at it, and condition people the right way to say, here's a stream of revenue, you can make money, or here's a protection mechanism. There just has to be certain ways to market to them, aside from, you guys are doing a great job. But what if you had an automated system?
We could always get better.
Well, we all can get better. I hear you. I mean, I'm a student of the game always. I mean, technology is changing the way we produce movies, create content. Jeff Bezos now is really threatening, the way people are going to consume products, food. So everything is evolving very rapidly now. So, protecting yourself legally is so critical.
Right.
As they say, emotion creates the motion.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah, Jeff just bought Fresh Market, didn't he? I mean,
Whole Foods. Trying to buy Whole Foods.
Whole Foods,
he launched his own Amazon Fresh. They did a study in it, and it's done very well. And everyone wants stuff when they want it now.
Right,
so they're going to have a service, I believe, where they'll use an app, and people will place an order. You go in, you'll pick it up, and that'll be it.
Tell me, he's going.
So many things are changing, because actually we were just our incentive trip and had our CEO speaking, and it was actually on Facebook online. Is that they have so much data they've collected with legal services that they can actually predict where the economy is going to be going, because based on the services that the population is using, the legal services that they're using. So all of those things are coming into play. So you'll see a lot of things changing in that direction also.
Yeah.
Wow. Excellent. Tommy, really appreciate you being on the air. I really appreciate the work that you're doing through South Florida. And they've awarded you the vice presidency of South Florida. So,
well, not just me. I have to get my wife Ingrid.
Well, of course,
you don't want to get me in trouble, Russ. Right? She's one of the key players. With both of us, we've gotten the state of Florida to be the #1 state in Legal Shield with
That's
the company.
Great. Congratulations!
Congratulations!
We've been holding that position since January, and we're not letting it go.
I heard that. And your sons?
And my sons, both of my sons, well, 3 of my sons are in the business, and all 3 are doing well. And we just want to bring more young people on board and train them and teach them how they can have success. And you think if it's a young person listening to the call, or if a parent's listening to this call now, you need to, have them come out. Actually, tomorrow evening at the Marriott North Hotel right here at 6650 North Andrews Avenue, I will be doing the presentation there tomorrow evening.
Okay.
And be able to answer questions and be doing a little training also afterwards. So if you can come out.
Fort Lauderdale?
It's the Marriott on right off of Cypress Creek and I-95.
Okay.
Yeah, 6650 North Andrews Avenue.
And they can always call you 561-275-4777. Or go to your website, tsardines. Go ahead.
.com. And tomorrow it's 7:15 tomorrow evening.
Oh, 7:15.
Tomorrow evening.
About an hour?
Yes.
They'll be in and out, sign up, get going. 3 minutes? Okay, 3 minutes. Eric, he's done a great job.
Oh, yeah. Great
job.
Product.
He's done a great
he's...
and maybe you guys can talk and see how we can bring this all together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Another case study for
synergistic opportunities are there for sure.
Right. How's your project coming in?
Good.
In 2 minutes. Let's write in a minute.
Yeah, well, we're doing personal injury law show, and I'm doing 2 sports shows right now. Doing a golf show, which we're pitching Mark Wahlberg. And a bunch of other stuff. A health show called For the Hip with Doc Rob, and reality shows are all the rave. But I think people want content that they relate to and can get not only entertaining, but they want infotainment, information mixed with entertainment. So
to look at that law show that you put
PI
in
Law, yeah.
PI Law, there's a website.
PILawshow.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they can go on there.
They can go on there and send some information. It's just, we're in the initial stages of it. We're looking at lawyers now to be involved with the show. So something else we can talk about.
And that's going to be launched somewhere around the first of the year.
Yes, first quarter. Maybe first or second quarter.
I think we got about 1 minute. Is that right? 1 minute? Am I right? Okay, 1 minute.
Let's talk about Mark Zuckerberg.
This got too much. Tommy, wrap us up. 30 seconds. What do you say?
Hey, well, all I can say is success is a choice.
Okay.
So you have to make that choice. Do you want to work for yourself or you want to work for someone else?
Okay.
True.
Great. Appreciate you being on, man.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate
great.
you.
Very educational. Very, very
tremendous.
educational.
Great.
Legal Shield.
He used to have his own radio show. Hey, folks, thank you very, very, very much for listening. And I hope you got something on the takeaway on this. See you next week, same time, same place, 1470 AM, 95.3 FM. Bye now.
Men and women are wanted for a new business on Main Street. The requirements are you must be self-directed, persistent, and have the willingness to succeed. If, after your difficult work, you succeed, a lifetime annual 6-figure income is available.
90 seconds.
If interested, go to www.newbusinessonmainstreet.com. If you are despondent, broke, and not satisfied with life, then change your life. Go to newbusinessonmainstreet.com. If you are not happy, then change your life. To change your life, you must change your life. So go to newbusinessonmainstreet.com and change your life. Call 561-302-2588. You have been listening to New Business on Main Street with your host, Russell. If you have a business idea and want to share it on the air, call Russell directly at 561-302-2588. That's 561-302-2588. For more information, just go to newbusinessonmainstreet.com. And remember to tune in again next time for more exciting New Business on Main Street. The opinion